Sonic Rush!
Alright, so I want to preface this video by saying that I'm not some Sonic elitist that thinks that whatever opinion he holds is completely right, and I'd like to think that anyone who watches this video can come in and share their opinion freely without getting flamed. So if you disagree with what I have to say in this video, I don't even really mind, to be honest, bro. You can all let me know down below what your opinion on this topic is, without spoiling Blaze's story because I haven't finished the game yet. Anyway, so I was in a Chow Cola stream 2 days ago, and he was playing this fan game called Sonic Dimensions, and at some point he said that a stage in that game reminded him of a stage from Sonic Rush Adventure, and in that moment I realised I've never even played any of the Rush games. So, later that night, I went and completely legitimately acquired said games. And since then, I've beaten Sonic's story and gotten all 7 Chaos Emeralds. Which brings us to the topic of today's video, being one of the things I've heard about this game over the years prior to actually having played it. I've heard this sentiment across the community that Sonic Rush is bad because the game is too hard. But in my opinion, this is wrong. I'd say that Sonic Rush is infamous for its difficulty, but it's not once used as padding for the game in any sense, nor is the spike in difficulty from the first few zones ever unfair. I say this because I've seen a lot of people complaining about altitude limits specifically, which seems to be either loved or hated, no in between, depending on who you ask. And the reason why people hate this stage is because of the abundance of bottomless pits that are scattered around both acts. Now I've heard that this has made so many people drop the game altogether, whether it be during the present day or when they first picked up the game when they were younger. Which I'm not shunning anyone for, by the way. I mean, I dropped colours when I was younger because Aquarium Park was too hard. And I'm gonna say this right now, Sonic Rush is not exempt from criticism, and I'm no critic, but I do believe that the game has its flaws in various areas. But I don't think that bottomless pits are one of them, and I think that the thing that people should be complaining about in altitude limit is the lack of direction that prevents you from running into those bottomless pits. And truthfully, I think this is something that Rush suffers from not only in altitude limit but also in Night Carnival. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've died because I was boosting, and because I had no indicator of where I was supposed to go, I ended up just flying to the right side of the map and falling into a bottomless pit. Huge Crisis is a good example of how to mitigate this because the gimmick for that stage points you in the right direction. It doesn't leave you to interpret what you can't see ahead of you on your tiny DS display. It oftentimes sends you into a stream of dash rings or something so you know that you're doing the right thing. But in altitude limit, how the f am I supposed to know where I'm going? Especially when there's like 60 square inches of blank space in every direction. And then by the time I realize that I've gone the wrong way, I've already reached the danger zone, bro. I'm dead. For those of you that thought I was gonna try and call Sonic Rush an easy game, no, bro. I've suffered more game overs in the last 2 days than I have in any other Sonic game, including Colors when I was like 2 years old. The point I'm trying to get across with this video is that although it's all subjective, obviously, I wouldn't go as far as to say that Sonic Rush sucks just because of its abnormal difficulty. And I'm saying that as someone who did struggle with the game. The game has more flaws to it than just it's unreasonably hard, and there's too many bottomless pits. And I know there's already a huge divide between the Sonic community, with a lot of the fan base preferring different gameplay styles, which is why I do think it makes sense that there are some people that don't like Rush. I mean, I hear so many people saying similar things about Unleashed, even going as far as to say that that game has bad control. So I just think that it's interesting because obviously people want different things from the franchise, meaning that it's impossible to agree on what games are good or not, despite us all following the exact same series. That isn't to say that if you don't like Rush, you don't like boost games though. I think that's the seriously stupid argument to make. But again, I just think it's so interesting because for me, Sonic was never supposed to be easy on your first attempt. If you go back and look at my Unleashed Let's Play, starting with Arid Sands, you'll see that I struggled with those day stages because I had no idea what to expect from them. Like, at all. I feel like that's just the essence of boost gameplay, you know? That's why Sonic Rush introduced the S rank. It was their way of encouraging you to replay these stages and adapt to the knowledge you gained on your first attempt. It's really rewarding in that sense, and it's always good to implement actual replay value into a game, of course. I mean, I know for me, when I played Rush, after a game over or two, I always end up clearing the zone pretty easily because I learned what to expect and what to do in response to it. Again, the game is not flawless. I mean, they definitely could have given you help via hint rings in certain areas of the game, but that's more just quality of life in my opinion. Which again would lower the quality of a game, but not enough to make the game bad. Anyway, for those of you still watching, feel free to share your experience with Sonic Rush down below. That was just my 2 cents on the topic, and I'm interested to see what everyone else thinks about the game. But yeah, I'm going to bed now.